Okay guys, today I'll show you how to install the Z1 off-road ditch light brackets. Should be pretty easy. I do have some Novsight ditch lights going on there, and then I do have a video out about how to install the Auxbeam, so we won't be using the traditional wiring harness that comes with the ditch lights. It should make it much easier. That's the Auxbeam right there. Should be pretty easy to just wire everything in. But to install the brackets, you are going to need a 12 millimeter, but I'm a cheap ass and go to Harbor Freight, and there's no 12 millimeter in here. I don't know why it skips that. If anybody is more tool, I guess, savvy than I am, let me know in the comments why there's not a 12 millimeter in there. Anyways, we're going to use the 13 millimeter, and we're just going to go after these two bolts on each side. Do one side at a time so the hood stays on. Obviously, it is secured by these struts. But just to be sure that nothing moves around, just go one side at a time. The orientation for these, you can see them right here, is just like this. The wider oval side is going to be pointing outside of your vehicle, and then these two ovals are right where we are taking off those bolts. It's going to go just like that. I'll show you a little bit better angle here in a second, but yeah. All right, once you have both of them on, you definitely want to check for fitment. Make sure that there's equal spacing on each side so that your ditch lights are all squared away. And then check for check for your hood fitment as well. So close it obviously slowly, double check all the angles, make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary. I like to rest it before it's totally shut. Looks pretty good. And then I'll give it a nice push close. All the angles look pretty good. Okay guys, next up, first up, we're going to mount the lights to the ditch brackets. I already went ahead and installed the mounting hardware to the lights. Very self-explanatory. I'm sure all the lights have a little pamphlet that shows you. Takes 10 seconds. So I do recommend not tightening all the bolts right away, because you do need to adjust and tweak it at night once you see where the light pattern is. And then I would highly suggest putting some blue Loctite, some temporary Loctite. That way, you know, when you're going off-roading and stuff, the vibrations and bumps don't knock anything loose. So I'm gonna put the camera down and get a tripod out and show you how I'm doing this. Obviously, it's just taking off this bolt and then securing it to this hole right here. All right, also just to show you guys, this cable naturally bends inward towards my Auxbeam at the passenger side of the truck, so I'm just gonna use this one. I think it's okay if you use either one, but it'll just, you know, help since the wire is already kind of naturally going that way. All right, so once you get that hand tightened, just make sure that the bracket is in line or parallel. Well, the light bracket is parallel with the ditch light bracket just to start, and then obviously you can tweak them, turn them left or right, and then you can check for fitment once you got this down and everything for putting the hood up. But that's one side, let's do it on the other. Everyone, so now it's time to wire the pod lights into the Auxbeam. Here is the stock wiring harness. This looks pretty ubiquitous for different types of pod lights. Yours might be a little bit different. So these end connectors, I know on nicer brands they actually have a full connector instead of individual wire connectors. So depending on how you are or how your wiring harness is, it might be a little bit different. But you will have two connectors, and then it goes into a combiner, which then goes into a single connector, and then it goes into your control switch, your breaker, and then obviously your switch to turn it off and on. Now that we have the Auxbeam, we do not need the majority of this. What I am going to do is I'm going to go cut it past the combiner. So I only have to deal with one wire to plug into the Auxbeam, but I can thread both of these to the lights and then this single wire into the Auxbeam. So I did cut it right in the middle here, and then I just strip this end, and then I'll strip all of these. These do have daytime running lights, so that's why there are two additional wires. There's a positive, a negative or ground, and then a orange and a white daytime running light. So I'll show you what I do for the powering on those. I do want to access both of them. Just because I don't have many lights, I might as well use up all the spaces on my Auxbeam, and then I can shift them around and either get rid of some of them if I don't use both the daytime running lights or not, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to take each wiring harness, connect them to each light, and then I'll take the combined wire, the single wire, and connect that to my Auxbeam, test the lights out, see if everything works, see if I like it, and then I'll come back and waterproof everything. So I'm just do that really quick, and then I'll show you guys kind of the end result. All right, everybody, so this is how I wired it. I actually, after the junction, right, to where it goes into a single wire, I spliced each wire. I put the main power wire to the spot and flood beams into the 20 amp section, and then the negative as well in that section. And then I took each daytime running light, the amber and the white, and put them into their own breaker. Or their own fuse, excuse me. So I took the amber, put it in the 10 spot, and then I took the white daytime running light and put it in the 5 amp spot. That way I can have, I guess, customization. I know it's taking up a bunch of spots. If I put more lights on, which I will, I'll then consolidate and probably just lose one of the white or the amber daytime running lights. But for now, I might as well take them up and use them and see what I like until then. Okay, everyone, so as you can see, we tested the lights out. Every feature works, both daytime running lights, the amber and the white, as well as just the normal power to the flood and spot beams. If you have any questions below on how I wired it, just let me know. We are just going to do some wire management. These are waterproofed already, but I'm just going to take some cable tape, group them together, and then zip tie this wire, coil the rest of it up against the other previous wire to my Auxbeam, make it all nice and pretty, make sure nothing's chafing or in some hot places. So yeah.